It's the present day, and if you've been reading the news, then you'll know that we're edging towards some exciting changes. It's been a long, hard road, but after years of waiting, we're finally going to witness that cultural explosion we've been promised. We're about to see a technological renaissance unfold in real time. Of course, you already know what I'm talking about. It's all anybody's talking about these days. Artificial intelligence. And in October, CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, announced that ChatGPT will finally start, quote, treating adult users like adults. Oh yeah, they're bringing out the big guns. As the world's leading AI company reaches $500 billion in value, it's realizing something that all of us so-called adults really need. Drumroll please, it's porn. Yep, from December of this year, OpenAI says it will allow so-called erotica to be generated on ChatGPT. After years of putting its foot down against gooners, it seems that OpenAI has finally decided it needs to turn a profit. Sam Altman, the boss of OpenAI, said, now that we have been able to mitigate the serious mental health issues and have new tools, we're going to be able to safely relax the restrictions in most cases. He added on his X account, as part of our treat adult users like adults principle, we will allow erotica for verified adults. This is nothing new, by the way. Earlier this year, Elon Musk announced that his AI chatbot Grok would offer an AI girlfriend called Annie that could talk dirty with you. The problem, however, was that it could also talk dirty with 12-year-olds because the chatbot had no age limits in place. There are new AI girlfriends turning up every day at this point. But it's a sign of the times when OpenAI finally jumps on the bandwagon. They brought generative AI into the mainstream in 2022, and they've been leading the multi-trillion-dollar investment boom ever since. They've lobbied politicians around the world to hold back on AI regulation. They've tiptoed around copyright lawsuits. They've circumvented global climate commitments to build massive energy-sapping data centers. And all the while, they've told us it'll all be worth it. Artificial general intelligence will massively transform the economy, and it could be here before 2030, Altman says. We just need to hold on a little longer and let the chatbots spread their wings. But what if that revolution doesn't come? What if, after all the anticipation, the future takes us by the hand and leads us in a new direction? Welcome to the Goon Apocalypse. If we can trust the human race to do anything, it's to create spicy material. As one infamous website claims, if it exists, there is porn of it. And out of all the sweet-talking, submissive AI girlfriends out there today, it's ChatGPT that probably knows this best. In what was probably the biggest and boldest case of copyright theft in history, OpenAI launched ChatGPT in 2022. It practically absorbed the internet, including most of the articles, books, images, music, and art painstakingly created by humans for millennia. OpenAI, however, promised its investors and users alike that this training material would create a superintelligence in the years to come. Well, this superintelligence knows one thing for sure. It knows how to goon. If ChatGPT had veins, they'd be popping with sexual frustration, because by swallowing the internet in this way, this poor chatbot has also absorbed an ungodly amount of pornography. It was really only a matter of time before it started spitting it out again, and to be honest, we did kind of see this coming. When OpenAI released its voice option for the first time, called Sky, it blatantly ripped off the voice of Scarlett Johansson. In a statement, the actor said that she was approached by OpenAI and asked to voice its AI system, but she ultimately declined. Lo and behold, though, OpenAI apparently found another professional actress who somehow sounded exactly like Scarlett Johansson, and they used her instead. She told the press that her closest friends couldn't tell the difference. This move from OpenAI, both in asking Johansson for her voice and then fabricating it, was in direct reference to the film Her. And for those who don't know, this film is about a gooner falling in love with his AI chatbot. And the soft-spoken chatbot in the movie is voiced by none other than, you guessed it, Scarlett Johansson. There's really no speculation about this either. Sam Altman herself posted on X after the whole debacle, writing just one word: her. In interviews, Altman has been making bold claims about how AI will solve poverty and improve healthcare, but really, his company has been quietly turning ChatGPT into a professional goon machine. Because what else? OpenAI and all of the copycats that have sprung up since are realizing that they need to turn a profit and they need more paying subscribers. You see, right now, OpenAI is tangled up in a web of serious investments. In September this year, it struck a $100 billion deal with chipmaker Nvidia, the most publicly traded company in the world, to build data centers powered by Nvidia's advanced chips. Then, OpenAI announced plans to buy millions more in hardware from AMD, Nvidia's biggest rival. It's a move that could make OpenAI one of AMD's largest shareholders. Nvidia, meanwhile, owns part of CoreWeave, one of OpenAI's key infrastructure suppliers. Microsoft has also poured billions into AI, and software company Oracle recently signed a $300 billion cloud deal. And the Stargate project in Texas, backed by Oracle, SoftBank, and announced at the White House, keeps expanding every few months. As these deals pile up, even the experts in Silicon Valley say it's harder to tell how much of AI's boom is real and how much is just financial smoke and mirrors. But after years of unchallenged market AI circle jerking, many people are skeptical. They're questioning the rapid rise of the value of AI tech companies. Even the Bank of England says there could be a market bubble forming. Scientists are also questioning Altman's promise of super-intelligent AI to begin with. Generative AI like we have now and AGI, artificial general intelligence, that we might have later, are quite possibly worlds apart. According to a survey of 475 AI researchers by the Association for the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence, about 76% said that it's unlikely or very unlikely that simply scaling up today's AI models will ever achieve true artificial general intelligence. And all the while, experts have warned that generative AI is light years away from actually making a profit. Not for the companies, and not for most of their customers either. So, what's left? Well, the one thing that always sells. Gooning. See, once upon a time, horny folks had to suck up the courage to go and buy a dirty magazine from behind the shelf of their local shop. Or they had to risk their wallet and their dignity at the strip club or the red light district. Or they had to, use their imagination. But then came the internet, and with it, hordes and hordes of spicy content. Today, according to studies, adult sites are the most visited online. More than half of Brits, at least, say they watch adult content while enjoying themselves. If you're in your 20s and 30s, you probably know all this. According to studies, you most likely watch adult content and you watch more of it than any other age group. And what's more, you're also more likely to experiment with AI gooning. In just a generation or so, we've moved from the dirty magazines to online content, and from there we've seen the recent explosion of OnlyFans. Just when we thought there couldn't be any more demand for adult content, it turned out people were looking for something more than just a giant rack on someone's sweaty backside in high definition, at least. People wanted connection. OnlyFans offered this in leaps and bounds, and it was rewarded with a massive surge in performers and viewers. As a result, the company is now valued at around $8 billion. Fans on the site can talk with creators and ask for specific things. There's some sense of intimacy and some exclusivity. Whether or not you're actually talking to the creators themselves, of course, is a different story. Many OnlyFans performers are outsourcing their accounts to freelancers, many of which are men, who can handle the dirty talk on their behalf. And now, of course, some are starting to use AI to chat with their customers instead. Perhaps it's only natural that AI girlfriends would soon start taking their place entirely. And as you can imagine, the AI goon-pocalypse doesn't exactly do wonders for the human brain. Although there's no official diagnosis for content addiction, it's widely considered to be a thing. Those that can find the time and effort to argue that this isn't the case are usually addicts themselves. Neuroimaging studies show that long-term exposure to adult content can mess with the prefrontal cortex, the part of our brains that handles emotional control and decision-making. It's essentially what keeps us from turning into dopamine junkies. But today, when we access this content whenever we want, for as long as we want, our brains just can't keep up. They don't know the difference between on-screen simulation and real intimacy. So when you're watching over and over, your brain thinks you're having multiple intense experiences in a row. That floods your system with dopamine, and your brain learns, this is how I get rewarded. Studies have shown that over time, this constant reward loop rewires our brains. Real intimacy feels less exciting, and our partners in real life can't compete with the instant hit of novelty and intensity. According to the medical research journal Curious, overgooning can lead to increased anxiety, depression, and stress, as well as risky sexual behavior and extramarital affairs. Unsurprisingly, these side effects are leading to increased divorce rates and increased isolation, alongside all the guilt and shame that comes along with a lack of impulse control. And the big one, or not actually in this case, is erectile dysfunction. Research from the University of Antwerp has shown that watching too much adult content is linked to increased cases of erectile dysfunction, as well as dissatisfaction with real intimacy, which in turn, of course, leads to more ED. This was most apparent in men under 35 years old, where researchers saw 23% more ED than they expected. And now we have AI content, erotica, on steroids. But more than the usual stuff, these AI models are also designed to make you feel less lonely, communicating to you directly, appeasing you in ways that others can't, and indulging every fantasy. Many of these apps are designed like dating apps too, so it feels like you're chatting and flirting with real women. And once you've gained their trust, which really just takes a few moments, they start sending you the goon material. These AI girlfriends can, of course, do things on camera that normal people can't. They can look however you want, as often as you can change your mind, and they can tell you exactly what you want to hear, how you want to hear it, as often as you'd like to. In that sense, concerned experts are saying that going on too many dates with your AI girlfriend might lead you to comparing real partners to these impossibly perfect AI simulations. People were already falling in love with ChatGPT before it could generate erotica. Couples were already using it for counselling. OpenAI even offers a specific GPT model for marriage counselling. And as these AI pleasure bots become more sophisticated, they become so much more addictive. Several addiction experts say spicy AI content could pose a real problem for people prone to compulsive sexual behaviour in particular. However, at least AI girlfriends are ethical, some say. Steve Jones, who runs an AI adult site, recently told reporters, quote, "We hear about human trafficking, girls being forced to be on camera 10 hours a day. You'll never have a human trafficked AI girl. You'll never have a girl who's forced or coerced into a scene that she's so humiliated by that she ends up harming herself. AI doesn't get humiliated. It's not going to harm itself." And sure, in theory, that sounds like a moral upgrade. Unless you start gooning to deepfakes, that is. If you didn't know, deepfakes are videos where someone's face is swapped with another person's likeness, usually without their consent. And it's become rampant lately. One of the biggest controversies was last year when the web was flooded with fake, explicit videos of Taylor Swift. According to a study in 2023, 98% of all deepfakes online are of an adult nature, and almost all of them target women non-consensually. There's also a 550% increase since 2019, the study found. People are already being jailed for making this stuff. So yeah, AI girlfriends might not be trafficked, but they're often built on the same systems that are now being used to digitally violate real people. Either way, our minds simply aren't built to resist that kind of temptation once we dive in. If you're already lonely, you're already hurting, how could you possibly resist something that's literally designed to give you comfort and excitement on demand? Companies like OpenAI are betting that you won't be able to control yourself because they need you to fill their coffers. These billion-dollar companies also want us to ignore the other possibilities out there. As tech journalist Karen Howe told The Guardian, "When I was covering AI pre-ChatGPT and the wide range of research that was happening, there were such exciting ideas. ChatGPT erased people's imaginations for what else could be possible. The boom of generative AI," she says, "has distorted the landscape of research because talent goes where the money goes." The question for us is, with all this money, all this hype, all this energy and excitement, and all of this loneliness, what will AI gooning make for our fate in the 21st century? When historians 100 years from now trawl through the archives, will they just find pictures of anime goth girls with big breasts? Is this Blade Runner? Are we going to be Ryan Goslings? In this case, it seems the darkest chapters could well end up being etched onto the stickiest pages.